couple of weeks ago we had a look at Arctic's Bionix F120 case fans. Sure, not the worst fans, but considering my experience with Arctic's F and P series fans, I decided to not draw any conclusion until I had my hands on a Bionix P120. Well, now it's time to judge really hard, because here they are, the Bionix P120. Okay, let's get the usual boring stuff out really quick. This is an Arctic Bionix P120. Just like the F120, it exists in a variety of colors, including the white-grey we have right here, which is about 80% pure bleach white, while the white version is about 80% black, because that makes any freaking sense. Anyway, just like the Arctic F12 and P12 versions, the Bionix lineup follows a similar approach, with the F120 being airflow focused and the P120 being static pressure focused. This can be clearly seen while looking at the wings, where the P12 and Bionix P120 have wings that are significantly more bent and therefore longer, while the F fans have these smaller and almost straight wings. While spinning at 2100 RPM, these little beasts can push around 67 CFM at 2.7mm of H2O, making them by spec the very best 120mm Arctic fan out there. That being said, just like the F120 Bionix, the P120s offer the same PST PWM daisy chain by default, which is great. For the box, the P120s are coming in the usual Arctic box containing a bunch of screws, and as the last portion of my blatant repetition of my own words, the P120 has the same rubber material around the fan and screw holes, allowing for probably a bit of vibration absorption, but most of the time it's just that cool handbrake effect. Now let's finally get to that benchmark section I've been waiting so long for. Using our usual benchmark, the Bionix P120 managed to keep the CPU at 49 degrees C above ambient, which means that they outperform the Bionix F120s by a solid 3 degrees and the P12 by 2. And then they also performed at the same level as a set of 140mm P14s, which is pretty freaking impressive. Before we draw any conclusions though, let's finish painting that picture. On the noise to performance end, the Bionix P120 managed to perform pretty much exactly the same as a set of Arctic F14s across the whole board, while leaving the actual competition, the P12, a bit in the dust, not even talking about the F120. And who would have thought? The P120s are generally just better fans than the F120s. It's like I can read a spec sheet. No, but what's really interesting is to compare these to Arctic's first ARGB fans, their Bionix P120 ARGB. And yes, these are supposed to be the RGB version of these. Anyway, although both the airflow and static pressure suggest that the Bionix P120 should definitely be the better fan, the benchmark showed that the ARGB version just wins, which does not really make a lot of sense, but again, it proves my theory that raw fan speed RPM number also has a significant impact on the end performance, although the produced numbers are suggesting otherwise. So where does all of this leave us? Well, surprisingly to me, I still expected the P12 to maintain their position as the best overall price to performance to noise fan, but now I do believe that Arctic's own Bionix P120 should take that spot. Not only did they outperform the P12 quite a bit, but they were also a lot quieter at doing so. Except for that mini portion right here, which means that yes, at full blast a P12 will be a decibel quieter, but turn that target temperature down by a single degree and the Bionix P120 will always be the better option. If we take the price into consideration, it gets quite interesting. A P12 PWM PST can be bought right now for as cheap as 6 euros. Yes, 6 euros for a good fan, it's ridiculous. The Bionix P120 can be bought for as cheap as 9 euros. So yes, that's a 3 euros difference, and that's true, but on the other hand, it's just a 3 euros difference, where things like a Noctua NF-A12X25 will set you back a whopping 30 bucks, so I think 9 is still very much okay. Another quite important factor about these Bionics fans, in my opinion, are the color schemes. Especially right now where everything is going into RGB and transparent, milky plastic and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a quite refreshing look to have an actual freaking color for once. Especially because filling a build full of Arctic P12s gives it kind of a stock case fan look, while these give it looks very good. So all in all, to buy or not to buy. Looking at their performance, especially compared to other Arctic fans, there is absolutely nothing wrong to go with these. The Bionics P120s are great fans from both an absolute and noise normalized performance standpoint. Their build quality is on point, ignoring that handbrake effect, and the price is still ridiculously affordable considering how much you would pay to match that level of performance. So all in all, I can absolutely recommend them, and I would even prefer them to Arctic's P12s due to their better noise to performance ratio all across the board. But okay, this should be it for Arctic's Bionics P120s. At this point I would like to thank Arctic for sending these over to us, but if you want to keep watching, have a look at our Bionics F120 reviews, which is basically the same fan but for airflow, but you will see for yourself. On a side note, we now have a Discord server. People kept asking, so we created one, and we are not really sure where this is heading now, but we have a Discord server. We will figure it out. We will leave the links in the description below. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.